And welcome to Behind the Curtain.
Oh God, did it start?
It started, yeah.
I wasn't ready. I'm anxious.
You're not ready?
No.
Okay.
Oh no, it's too late now because we're live.
Hey!
Just kidding. Glad to be here.
Glad to be here.
Thank you very much. Hope your day's going well. Thank you guys for joining us.
Yes.
Deb, John, good to see you guys as always.
Oop. Fist bump.
We got to get a John camera. We're working on that. We talked about this. We gotta get the producer camera going on. He's going to have a segment coming up in a week or two, guys. We're going to have a regular segment for John.
Yeah. The news. We should do the news.
He has great insight, and there's a lot of cigar news to report. So next week you can probably expect. Wait, it's next week you won't be here with us, right?
We'll probably say 3 weeks. We'll launch that.
Fantastic.
I'm missing 2 weeks.
John's really cleaning the show up a little bit, and he's got a lot of good ideas.
He does.
I'm a disaster.
You have practically no ideas.
I'm working on getting the host fixed.
There we go.
You burnt.
I just come in like a tornado and just start tearing things up.
Like a wrecking ball, maybe?
Don't even tell anybody what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You have no idea what we're doing here today, do you?
I don't know.
This is a live show.
I do like these.
Did you know that? You've
What?
actually been doing this for several weeks now.
This is live?
Several
I thought
months.
we were just recording this because you wanted something to do.
Several months, in fact. Some of you have been with us since the first episode, and we do thank you for that, and we appreciate those who have joined us since. Yes, I didn't even put it on Instagram today. I'm not even broadcasting via Instagram.
Well, you know the great thing about that? We already have 8 people
But
watching.
we still have people watching. 80 people watching.
80
yes, we have
people
80
watching,
people
yes.
already watching. Always fudge the numbers, man.
Yeah.
Always fudge the
People
numbers.
in, what's that? Was it Africa? You had your friend?
We do have South African viewers,
South
yes.
African viewers.
So, yeah. So tell your friends, like I can't even talk to the people on Instagram, didn't even turn it on this week. You can't see anything on Instagram anyway.
I know.
You can see me talking and then every once in a while encouraging them to tune in via YouTube or Facebook
We should
Live.
just like hook it up like right there in front of the tripod.
We lost a viewer because they're pissed off that we didn't do Instagram. Look at that. We're down a number. We're not gonna worry. It's what I used to tell people at cigar events.
Yeah.
Let's not panic and worry about who's not here.
Yeah.
Let's focus on who is here.
I'll tell you that
So to those of you here, welcome.
that little thing that tells you how many people are watching, that's sometimes not accurate. Usually it's a lot more than
Usually,
that.
so instead of 79, we
It's-
have maybe 790, perhaps.
Yeah, somewhere in the hundreds, I'm thinking.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
There's no doubt. Now
I
that
mean,
we have
look
a
at this
worldwide
face.
audience. Absolutely. Your beard's trimmed neatly. Again,
Yours is not.
for the 13th week in a row, I forgot to trim it. That's okay. One of these days, I will remember.
We should get you a Cigarsandmore hat.
I have one.
Because you always wear a hat.
I have a
And it should have a logo
Vitola
like
Fine
in
Cigars
Blaze.
hat.
You should.
Well, that would require Harris spending money to have them made. Come on.
Harris loves spending money.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. What's going on, my friend Markeem? Welcome to the show. Thank you for tuning in.
What's up, Sir Metal?
Today we're going to be talking taste and compare is the theme of today's show.
Okay.
So we really want all of your feedback. So the cigars that we're going to be tasting today, we've got a couple of hot products we want to highlight. We've got a ton of new stuff in. You realize that at the show, at the stores this week, in the past couple of weeks. Got a lot of new cigars. Everybody always wants to know what's new, and sometimes I'm like, hey, wait a minute. There's 1,000 cigars in here that have been good for generations. Why are we always focused on what's new? But since you want to know what's new, we're gonna give them a little taste, and then we're gonna compare.
That's the name of the show today.
That's the name of the show: Taste and Compare.
Taste and compare.
We have a tray. There's 8 cigars in that tray. What do you think? No, 7 actually. One's in my hand. Why don't you put that cigar down? Are you enjoying that cigar a lot? You've got some homework that we're about to do.
I know. I was just doing a prep. Man.
He wants to know. Let's hold that question, John. Can you remind me and cue me of this? Can you talk about people walking into a cigar shop for the first time and the anxiety that comes with it?
The anxiety.
That's something. So we do have a question. We can scroll back up. Yes, we will come back to that. That's a great question. Right now, I do want to know what you're all smoking if you're joining us. Today. And have you tried this brand yet? Is this your first time, Placencia?
I have not tried. This will be my first time.
This is going to be so much fun, Dan. I didn't think that you had. We are going to be doing a vertical brand tasting of Placencia cigars.
A vertical brand.
So we're going to go down the line of the blends that we carry in the shop that they make. And we're going to, at some point, have all 4 of these blends. We only have 4. Placencia has a couple more blends that they're currently making under the family name than we have. But we do have 4 wonderful blends that they make. We'll delve into that later. I'm going to go ahead and light the first one.
Me too.
Which is the first one that you and I are going to smoke is the Alma del Campo.
You pronounced that wrong. It's
Campo, yes.
Get
It's
a
like
fun
Casa
accent.
de Campo that we used to go to in the Dominican Republic. So yes, but you know, people make fun of me because sometimes I roll my R's and I'd say Corojo tobacco, and people would laugh because inadvertently my accent would change when I'm using these
Pitted
terms.
prunes.
That's BS. The turd's going on your head tonight for that segment later on. But yeah, I mean, like, why should I get out of character? It's the Alma del Campo.
So summer Campo.
This is a tremendous cigar. I'm really happy for you to try it. John has one over there, but he's smoking another brand right now because he does whatever the hell he wants. He produces this show. So whatever he tells us to do, we do. So that's how that works. But he has the option to smoke the same cigar. We don't leave John out, okay? The Alma del Campo is a beautiful blend. I think, in my opinion, it's probably the mildest of the four that we're going to try.
Really?
Absolutely. Yes, get ready for your taste buds to be set on fire, son. If you guys if you smoked the Plasencia brand, please give us comments. Let us know. Love to know what you think about it. We're going to give you our thoughts live as Devin pops his Plasencia cherry.
Oh my God, I can't believe you just said that.
I did. And I just want to be clear. It's not placenta. No matter how many times you're tempted to pronounce it that way. And every time I look at it, no disrespect to Nestor at all. But it's so difficult for rednecks here in Alabama to pronounce it the correct way. But I think it's adorable. It's hilarious.
Placencia?
But it's Plasencia.
Placencia.
Yes. What a wonderful family. Great, huge growers of tobacco. So many of you are unaware of how many blends they actually make for other companies.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, I think they are the largest grower of tobacco, at least in Nicaragua. But I think perhaps period. I mean, they're really, it's tremendous operation, and now they're using some of their best tobaccos not to make cigars for other people, but with their own family name. And what I've noticed, Devin, is in the cigar business, when a cigar family puts their name, the family name on a cigar, that commands quality.
Yeah.
That commands respect, and that they're basically telling you, this is our pride and joy. We're going to give you our seal of approval as a family. So always know that when you see a cigar family or growers of tobacco put their family name on something, they're putting their reputation on the line for you to try something they're very proud of.
Yeah.
So I think about this a lot when I smoke Plasencia or Aroa or some of these other brands where they Oliva. I mean, when you put that means something, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
It does. It's your reputation, and I must say that they've got a great reputation, and I love their stuff. What do you think so far on the initial puff?
It's got a good earthy's not the right word. It's got a nice texture to it. A very natural texture to it.
The retro hail that I just had just then was very interesting. It was like a sweet almond. It was interesting. I get weird flavors sometimes. Listen, by the way,
Reverse
a
pin.
question was already asked about how do you walk into a cigar shop the first time and the anxiety that comes with it. Let me also say, anything that me, Devin, anyone else who've been smoking cigars for a long time, when we describe a flavor and you're new to this, do not let that deter you from ever trying more cigars and saying this is not for me. A lot of the times it's BS.
It is BS.
You don't have to do the turd yet.
Oh.
There's more coming. Please don't. And
I was reaching
it
for
goes
that
on your
mouse.
head first. But no, seriously, when you hear someone say something like I just said, sweet almonds, like a sweetness in almonds.
Yeah.
Most of the time, it's what it reminds me of. Now, I do detect some sweetness, of course, right?
Yeah.
But no one blends their cigar specifically to taste like almonds to everyone, okay? It's what it reminds me of. And when you take that same retro hail and that puff, it's going to remind you of something as well. That sweetness, a touch of saltiness, spice, savory, all these different factors that your palate can detect will remind you of these flavors. So if you're new to this and you're watching our show, please do not let that keep you from or discourage you rather from thinking you're not cut out for this, or maybe because I promise you the first time we all tried a cigar, We had no idea what the hell we were tasting.
Yeah, I didn't really get into like taste testing and really detecting those notes until like a couple of shows ago.
Absolutely. I could tell that you've actually really gotten into this, and you were excited. I could see. We had a staff retreat in December. It was the first annual staff retreat. You were there.
Yeah.
Mr. Viviani held down the fort here as a trooper so we could have a staff retreat. So this guy always stays behind the scenes, but he's the glue, I'm telling you. But we had a staff retreat, and I saw the excitement in you when we did the brand tasting with La Galera.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Because you were really getting into it. And so it's a lot of fun to light all these things at once and really taste the differences in wrappers and binders and fillers. Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, I looked at this. I did not want to get it wrong and don't want to disrespect them. As many blends on the market as I know 100% of. Yes, they simply say the wrapper, binder, and filler is all Nicaraguan and all this, okay? So I'm not going to read to you their descriptions.
Would you say that taste testing like this is kind of like when they do like whiskey or wine?
100%.
Yeah, because you're trying to get the flavors out that you didn't think were actually there. They really are there when you pay attention to them.
Absolutely.
I mean, I know some people watching, they really are into whiskey tasting.
Oh,
they go to all these different ones. This is the same thing. It's practically the same thing. That's the reason you pair it with something nice.
Absolutely.
Cheers.
COVID cheers. So listen, after I take my sip.
And this goes well, by the way. It's very smooth.
I don't know
what it is, but
you smoke so fast.
I do.
You're going to get ahead of me?
I'll slow down.
Oh my gosh, it's like I'm not racing you. I'll give you the trophy.
Okay.
Here, the trophy's yours. You and my friend Larry Butler. Larry can smoke a Lancero in 10 minutes. It's insane.
Well, I've been failing, but I've been trying to do what Oscar told us to do.
Are you with the thing? That's
yeah.
What did he, tell our viewers what we learned from him.
We did, and you can see that episode. It's in there. You'll see it in the interview sections on our YouTube page. Mm-hmm. He told us that, you get a little bit of saliva on the tip right there. Wait until that wicks off, until it dries off.
So gross how you said that.
You're shut up. Pitted Prince. You wait until that goes away, and then you take your puffs. So it kind of extends the time, because as you told me, that I didn't know, that the size of cigars is generally based on the time.
Yeah, it's predicated on the amount of time we have to enjoy it.
And you got 10 points for the word predicated.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I am a living, breathing thesaurus.
I didn't even know
and
you
that
knew
is
what that was.
A prehistoric animal. Did you know that? Speaking of things that we learned, just before the show, I had to tell these guys, I was so excited. I learned something on the radio the other day. And you may laugh. Please comment and make fun of me if you'd like. But I was listening to the radio, and someone, the classic phrase that I've always heard growing up, like, I'll get to it in just a jiffy, or I'll be there in just a jiffy. I just thought it was this cutesy little word that people use to say quickly. No. Come to find out. Like, enlightened.
You can tell how excited he is
blown.
about this word.
Jiffy is an actual unit of measurement of time. It's incredible. Did you know that a jiffy is actually 1/50th of a second?
I did not know that. I really did not know that.
There's also other measurements of time that I could use, or colorful metaphors that I could use to describe a jiffy that I won't, that are not appropriate for the show. But that's also why they called it Jiffy Lube. When you go get your oil changed. It's like they mean it quickly. It's like, but they don't do it in 1/50th of a second. So it's kind of false advertising.
You know what's funny about phrases like that is, they probably came out of nothing. Like, it originally was nothing.
That's true.
It's like my gaming group, we have, when somebody says, oh, there's a ton of those, that means there's a lot. We have something called, is that a ton or is that an Ames ton? Because we have somebody we play with. And
his name's Ames?
Her name's Ames, and every time she says there's a ton of stuff, it's usually not a lot.
Not a lot at all.
So an Ames
three
ton means
things.
nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny. So, by the way, you have a gaming channel.
I do have a gaming channel.
What's it called?
It is called Arc of Fire Gaming. You can find it on every...
Nerd alert. Sorry.
I'll push my own glasses up. Thanks. YouTube, Twitch, Facebook. You can find it there.
your buddy just posed a great question.
He did. Metal always has great questions.
I love that you get into this, Markeem. I will read that in a moment because my eyes have to focus. I'm getting older. Is there something different you can do while smoking it to try and bring something out, like flavor wise? Let me really talk about retrohaling for a moment. When I first began smoking cigars, me and a few buddies used to smoke cigars. I lived in Florence, Alabama.
Not Italy.
The Renaissance city of Alabama. And we would sit. There's a wonderful street downtown, Mobile Plaza. Mobile Street was a cobblestone street. I think they've recently repaved it. I'm not sure. It's been a while since I've been up there.
Yeah.
Many nights were spent having coffee from Rivertown Coffee Company. John Cartwright, great guy, great owner of that store. If he ever sees this, John, I miss you. But we spent a lot of nights out there, and we were brand new, and we really didn't realize how terrible the cigars were that we were smoking. Terrible quality, not terrible, not basing them on their flavor or whatever, but we were smoking terrible quality cigars. Didn't have any guidance. There wasn't at the time a cigar shop in Florence that we could learn from, but this was a new passion, and I never breathed, I never exhaled the smoke back through my nose, right?
Yeah.
Because I never smoked cigarettes.
Right.
It's not something I'm interested in, and I never had the inclination, of course, to inhale. But retrohaling, I was brand new to this, and when I learned about that, and someone told me that the flavors would just explode if I would simply breathe blow the smoke back out, not just through my mouth but through my nose.
Yeah.
It changed my world of smoking. And if you think about it, guys, it's if you hold your nose while you're eating food, you're only going to detect if it's salty, if it's sweet. You won't get the array, the bouquet of flavors that it was intended to taste like, because your nose, of course, is a very integral part of this tasting process.
Right.
And so I would challenge you, and let's be honest, it's going to burn like hell the first time you do it. Perhaps even the next 32 times you do it. But after that, you get used to it. And if you just take I'll demonstrate. It's hard to describe exactly how to do it. You're not inhaling it down your throat. You're just exhaling the smoke that you're holding in your mouth through your nose.
It is a skill, because I still don't have it. Every time I try to do it, I fail, and then when I don't try to do it, I do it. But I can confirm with you, the first time we did that tasting of Asylums, I think, I did it through my nose, and I noticed it.
Oh yeah,
it was so clean.
Goodness gracious! I heard the nose is like 60% of the taste. Actually, you're incorrect. 61.8% of taste.
Oh my gosh!
But I have no idea. I just threw that out there. I'm just messing with him. You've always got great questions, so thank you for posing that. Still loving this cigar, by the way.
Yeah.
Markeem, been waiting to try the cigars for a while, so definitely be by tomorrow. Do we have the Sober Mesa Brulee cigar? Funny you ask that, pal, because it's almost if you could see through these boxes. They're not lined with lead, so if you do have superhuman vision. We've got the Sober Mesa Brulee and the Sober Mesa Brulee Bleu.
Bleu.
Like bleu cheese. Blue. So, this cigar right here, Steve Saka, who owns Dumbarton Tobacco and Trust, got tongue-tied for a moment, makes Sober Mesa. So there's a lot of chatter online. People, it drives him insane. I've engaged him online. He has a good sense of humor because I was a little confrontational with him about something. Maybe we'll have him on the show one day if he's not too big of a deal to stoop to our level and join us.
Yeah.
But Steve's very passionate. Okay, I don't think I've ever met him actually in person. I've engaged with him several times online before, and what I respect about Steve is Steve spends a lot of time engaging with the consumers, the people enjoying his product. Extremely passionate about what he does, and a lot of people think that his Sober Mesa Brulee has a sweet cap on it, like a sweet tip, like the Asylum Insidious or Oscar's GTO Hypnotic.
Yeah.
This drives Steve Saka insane. If you want to get under his skin, get on Facebook and ask him where you can find some of his sweet tipped cigars. Oh my God, it'll be amazing. He's got a good sense of humor about it. And yeah, tell him I sent you. He says it's there's a natural sweetness to the tobacco that he uses. I will not tell you my opinion, but what I will say about the blue, This is a blend that's near and dear to him. It's a very limited product that we got in limited quantities. So many of you have tried the Brulee. I smoked this twice now, and I think it's a beautiful cigar. I really enjoyed it in the morning. I think it's worth the price point. I believe it's around $15.
That's gorgeous.
It's actually a phenomenal cigar. I did disagree with Steve about what he said that it reminded him of, but guess what? That's because our palates are different.
What?
What I will agree with Steve on is that it's a wonderful cigar and he did a great job. So a lot of people have been calling about this, so really please come in and grab this. Marquine, get this one, try this one, get one of these along with the regular Brulee, because they won't be around forever, and I'm sure Steve, like Steve does with a lot of things, he doesn't rush it, and he wants to, he will re-release it if and when he acquires the tobacco that he deems worthy to try to make the same blend. So please get one of these. Great cigar. We do have the Sober Mesa Brulee Blue and the regular Sober Mesa Brulee. We'll get back to talking Plasencia cigars in a moment, but I do want to mention we got 2 new Rocky Patel cigars this week. Got the quarter century. They're celebrating 25 years in the business. Woo! Crazy to think that they've been doing business that long. Yeah. I think it's 25 years in the business. Yes, that is what Nish said. Sure. Because Rocky's like 40. You're welcome, Rock. If you watch the show, if you ever watch it, and gave you some credit there. It's got the energy of a 40-year-old or less. And the Rocky Patel Grand Reserve, which did get, if I'm not mistaken, the #1 cigar in the world by cigar in Europe.
Really?
According to a Cigar Journal, I believe.
Wow.
So there's the quarter century. Yeah. So these are some new products that we got in. We'd love for you to come in and try. What's up, Jimbo? Nice to meet you. Nice to see you. Good, great.
Nice to meet you, Jimbo. Yeah.
Your cutter should arrive within a day or two. We sent it. Goodness gracious, when did I send it? It was not the next day. I got busy. But let me know. You may have already gotten it. I don't think so. I think it was scheduled to arrive tomorrow, the next day. But thanks for joining us again. But yeah, we've got some new cigars. That's just a small sampling. We have a ton of new product, including the ones we're smoking now, the Plasencia, the one that you have finished in 5 minutes. The first
So to kind of answer a little bit of a question that was asked, besides the retrohaling, I typically, from the advice of counsel, I pull it in, I hold it for a minute, I push a little bit out, and then I try to really taste it, like chew on it a little bit.
Yes.
And try to get the flavor profile on the sides of my tongue to see if I can detect something.
Because that's a zone in and of itself. On the sides of the tongue, the back of the tongue, the front. Yes, that's absolutely correct. And then, I do the same thing, I think. And
then the other thing I like to do is sometimes you just let it sit, and after about a minute of not pulling on it, you kind of taste it, like the after effects of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're like, oh, okay.
It's what lingers on the palate. It's very interesting just to see.
Yeah, there's a lot of detail to it. How you like that ash?
Yeah, don't show them the side that's burning crooked.
I'm showing the side that I've done amazing on.
It's beautiful. You want to light this other one with me? Let's let these sit for a minute. We'll come back to them. Then we'll see how that affects the flavor as well. So right now we were smoking the Plasencia Alma de Campo. Is that better? Now we're going to light up the Plasencia Reserva Original. Many people would think that this cigar is going to be of lesser quality than the others because it is the least expensive in the lineup that we have here at Cigarsandmore. It couldn't be any further from the truth. It's a beautiful cigar. I think it's medium strength personally, but medium plus in body and flavor. Yeah, it does have a great aroma to it.
It really does.
Part of what taking time, by the way, we talk about that a lot on the show, about how this is all about time. Taking the time to enjoy time with each other, to enjoy time with the cigar, to enjoy time away from busy life and or any kind of stress. I like to take time to smell the cigar, to feel the cigar, to appreciate the construction. of the cigar.
How much cushion does it have?
Absolutely.
I don't think that's a technical term for cigars, but
it is now.
the cushion.
It is now. You coined the phrase.
Well, see, and that's when new customers come in and they're asking me about cigars. That's one of the primary things I tell them is go up to in the humidor, and
you're the reason why cigars are squeezed to death, and they're
I don't tell them to squeeze them hard. I tell them if it's really hard when you squeeze it, try to look for one that's a little softer, especially because typical veteran cigar smokers, they can smoke anything, but I want to make sure the new guy gets like the best of the best out of the box, just so he or she gets that impression.
So you don't think you'd rather it be soft than hard?
Yes.
Just clarifying. You heard it here first. I'm talking about cigars. My God, what is wrong with you?
What is wrong with you?
Never mind that it's a phallic shape. So anyway, the Plasencia Reserva Original. This size that we're smoking is called the Cortez. Now, if you didn't know, the Cortez was one of the first 3 ships that came across to discover America.
Is there a reason these are called?
Just kidding.
That's not it.
We'd be such a terrible history show. Don't take anything we say for historical fact.
Cortez came over in 1128.
He was looking for, what was he looking for?
He was looking for pitted prunes.
That's it. He was in the prune market. He discovered the first type of prune that was pitted.
Now, is there a reason they're called Cortez?
Jackass. I really don't know. I don't know why it's called Cortez, but I do know it's my favorite size, and it's a double figurado. And for those of you, I always like to forgive us if you already know these things, but there are some people watching that have great questions. When you talk about a figurado cigar, you're talking about something that is shaped, and so a torpedo is a figurado, right? Different sizes like that. Anything that's got that interesting shape to it, like that, you consider it a figurado. This one is tapered on both ends, slightly tapered on the foot, and tapered with a pigtail cap. Great size. So we consider this a double figurado. But it's my favorite one to smoke in the line. So I'm gonna light this up. You've already smoked half of yours.
So correct me if I'm wrong. Pigtail also means you can just twist that off and start smoking from
You could, yes, yeah. And a lot of people do. I got a cut. I love cutting.
I love that feel. Yeah,
absolutely.
I've been doing the thing I think Oscar told us was you take the flat cutter like one of these, you put it on the table and.
It's a great way, especially if you're just getting started, right? To not cut too much off of the cigar.
Because I've done that and it's not fun, John.
It's not fun. I just lightly toasted a small foot of this, and what's interesting about a tapered foot of a cigar is you just barely have to, and it'll start burning and correcting itself and burning more and more even as it gets to the real body of the full body of the cigar.
This was incredibly light. I was not expecting the lightness out of it, and a little bit of natural, like vanilla bean almost.
My God in heaven, you nailed it. That's perfect. Yes.
Is it?
Absolutely.
I have not read up on these at all, so I'm just sitting here trying to detect it, and that's what I'm getting off of it.
I mean, obviously, it was suggestion with you saying that, and, my brain's finding it in that, but no, you're spot on.
Yeah.
I got, just for a brief moment, a touch of for boring you to death, just mute it for a moment and I'll shut up.
Touch of dysentery.
It's like it's got a little bit of French toast, like just a touch of that. What that reminds me of having. It's been a long time since I've had French toast.
Me too.
I'm dying for it now. Like I really want it, but no, it's a beautiful cigar. A lot of sweetness to it, right?
Yeah,
a lot of natural sweetness.
And it's very light.
I haven't sipped the bourbon in several minutes, and
I got to do that. I'm sorry.
By the way, what I'd like to start doing, and I should have brought the bottle in here every week, I want to start highlighting the whiskey that we're tasting, right?
Yeah.
And so I haven't even told you what we're tasting.
No.
But what do you think about it? Before we even mention it, before we reveal, what do you think about the whiskey?
It's very smooth body. I could tell it was a bourbon. I don't know what bourbon it is, but it's very smooth. It's got a hint of caramel in it. A hint.
Oh, yeah. Which is, that's always a good note that I like to detect in it. Can I surprise you and tell you that it's not bourbon?
It's not?
It's not.
What is it?
Technically. It's whiskey. It's Tennessee whiskey.
Oh, okay.
So it's charcoal filtered, I believe, is the thing. Where's Jason Jackson when I need him? The product is called Uncle Nearest.
Oh, okay.
And so It's a great story about Uncle Nearest whiskey. He taught Jack. I believe he was a sharecropper. He was not a slave, but this is during the slavery era in the United States, a shameful period where a lot of men like him who were brilliant, the first black master distiller in the United States.
I didn't know that.
Sadly enough, of course, like many brilliant black individuals at the time, weren't getting the credit for the things that they were inventing and doing and the contributions to society. However, they're making things right now with his family, and this is how, in a very cool way. So he taught little Jack Daniels, when he was like 8 or 9 years old, how to make whiskey.
That's pretty cool.
And they used his original mash bill at first. Now, they don't now.
Right.
Now, this whiskey is the original mash bill for Uncle Nearest's recipe. So this, I must tell you, is my favorite Tennessee whiskey. I've never been a big fan of Tennessee whiskey, ever. And any of you who know me real well and we drink whiskey together knows that. I tried this product, I think 3 years ago at New Orleans, at the New Orleans Bourbon Festival.
Okay.
It won Best in Show. Not only did it win Best American Whiskey, all right, that whole category, it won Best in Show. And that was its coming out party to me. I was like, wow. And then to see the people tell me the story behind this whiskey. And did you know that they take a portion of the proceeds of the sale of this whiskey to send every one of his living descendants through university?
Wow.
Unbelievable.
That's
so
cool.
What a legacy that he's left behind. Thank God that he's not been forgotten, and then they're continuing to tell his story. I love this whiskey so much. It's become very popular at the store, and I think it goes wonderful with most every fuller-bodied cigar. This stands up to it. It's 100 proof, the one we're having. I believe it's forgive me, I think it's the 1856. There are 3 different variations of Uncle Nearest. This is the highest proof one, if I'm not mistaken. It's 100 proof. Tremendous product. Absolutely love it. I'm ashamed that I don't get into the specifics of the bourbon. I just taste it and know what I taste and know what I love. But I'll do better. But it's a great product.
I got 2 of my friends who are really big into whiskeys and bourbons and scotches, and the knowledge they have on it, that's everything I know.
They know the exact temperature that barrel was charred with inside. I
got a friend of mine, Sir Metal knows him. He travels.
Yes, Sir Metal, it is 1856. To answer your question,
he travels to Chattanooga to a distillery up there.
They got a great product too.
Yeah.
Okay, so now here I go. I'm contradicting myself. I actually love that product too. I like this better. I think this is a little. I feel bad saying this because I don't want to disrespect someone else's process.
Yeah.
I think this is a little more refined in flavor than the stuff that's, because Chattanooga Whiskey Company it's a relatively very young distillery. If I'm not mistaken, they were in the same boat as Alabama was when we weren't allowed to have breweries for so long.
I'm glad that's no longer
absolutely
around.
When the Free the Hops campaign, I think it was 2008, when Good People was the first one to open up in downtown Birmingham. Chattanooga Whiskey Company is young, but man, I've had a cask strength whiskey from them. Woo! that was fantastic. Yes, this is the 1856. Man, thank you for reminding us. See what I mean? And it's so hard to get the burn correct on a tapered cigar like this. That's beautiful.
What do you think, John?
I'm not smoking that one.
What do you think of the Placentia? Did I say it right? Placentia. I said it completely weird.
It's okay. We all do.
I think you nailed it.
Yeah.
I tried that one the other day, and I'll say I might prefer that one over this one.
No kidding. See, the price does not indicate the Alma de Campo is more expensive by a fairly significant margin, a few dollars more expensive than this one per stick. But there you go. I mean,
and lately I've been more of a milder cigar person, so it's kind of.
They're saying Uncle Nearest sells bourbon as well. I'd love to try that. I've not had the bourbon. Too. If it's half as good as the Tennessee whiskey, I'd be willing to try it. But yeah, it's a great product. I'm smoking this one far too slow. I need to be balanced somewhere between me and you. Trying to see what else I can get out of this.
Yeah.
Uncomfortable silence. That's what I'm getting right now. Because we're enjoying this. This is a tasting session.
And we love that over there, by the way.
That?
Yeah, don't forget about that.
That'll be at the end of the show.
Okay.
You can't see what's off screen right now. I should show them something really cool about their boxes too.
You should.
So these guys got really creative at Placencia with the way they built their boxes. Listen, these are 10-count boxes. Every one of them that we have, it's all 10-count boxes. This is the box top right here, okay? You lift this off of the body of the box that contains the cigars and flip it over and reveals an ashtray. I've never seen anything like this in my life. And it's heavy wood. That's a heavy wood ashtray. So look at that. It's beautiful. So yeah, it's got 4 stirrups in it to lay your cigar down with the metal inlay with the family crest and logo name. Buy a 10-count box of Placencia cigars. At least the Alma de Campo and the next one we're going to try after this, the Alma del Fuego.
Ooh, fuego.
We're about to set that on fire. You'll get a free ashtray with that. So it's just 10 count for a box purchase. You do get 10% off because it's a full box purchase, and you get a free ashtray.
Yeah, now, I can see it right here on this one. And that
yeah,
one.
it's unbeatable.
That's pretty cool.
It's cool as hell.
I'm thinking I might want to buy a box of that.
So you want to know how I discovered this brand?
Tell me.
I was a cigar rep at the time, and I was in Houston at Stogie's in Houston. Stogie's is a tremendous. See, Sir Mel's not even listening to us. He says, Uncle Nearest taught Jack Daniels how to make whiskey. We just said that. You have us on mute, don't you? You do. What are you doing in the meantime? My goodness.
I know.
He's just repeating things he just heard.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just did that too.
I just did that too as well.
Screw you. No, Stogie's is a great cigar store, and I love Jorge and Jenny, the crew. They're wonderful. Huge selection. Got a very nice lounge, big lounge, and a great big giant private lounge in the back. And a lot of the cigar reps would always have nightcaps there. They'd go over and hang out there. It's kind of in a nice central location in Houston. And there I am having a cigar with somebody. Didn't know who the hell it was. And it was Nestor Placencia. I'm like, my God. And so Javi, who's a good friend of mine, is their rep. And he's not just a rep. I mean, Javi does a lot for them. He's nationwide. He handles a lot of nationwide accounts. Met them, and he hands me the final cigar that we're going to smoke tonight, which is what in the devil just got into me? The Alma del. Damn it! It's the first one I had. Alma Fuerte. For God's sake, I was like, "What is this? What is the Spanish word for strong?" The Alma Fuerte. He hands that to me, and what I thought was interesting about it was a hexagonal press cigar.
Whoa! I've never had one of those.
If you smoke one of those, you will. That's not the size that we're smoking. I've got the Robusto's size, but I thought that was really unique. And my God, it blew me away. First time I tried the cigar, got to have a nice conversation with them. They were selling the cigars in there to Jorge and Jenny at Houston, at Stogie's in Houston. And but it was a pleasure meeting him, and so that was really cool. It's always, no matter how many years I was in the business, and the first trade show I went to, I can tell I was starstruck. I just thought it was the coolest thing to see the cigar makers, and it really is though, because it's always fun to see the people behind the passion, and so it's always fun for the first time you try a cigar to have it with the maker, and so that was great. Love the lineup. I'm loving this cigar. I'm kind of pissed. I mean, it's 10 after 8. I've smoked half an inch of the second cigar. We've got 4 cigars to try. I'm gonna have to put it down in a moment, and we'll have to go to the third.
Yeah.
And there I was making fun of you for smoking them so fast. Wow. Because some of us have to work for a living. My God. Well, I deserved that, didn't I? For busting his chops. Well played, sir. Still, if you guys have tried it, we got a couple of guys who've commented and said they're going to come in and try this. They haven't tried it. That's why we wanted to expose it. I really believe in this brand. I think it's a really great brand. Proud to have it here. I did have to convince Harris after months and months and months of begging him to please bring this in, because it's a long process with my friend. He's far more deliberate, is a good word to use. It's a safe word to use. He's far more deliberate in his actions.
You can tell by his hair that he's deliberate.
Wow. It's fine. Harris doesn't watch these. He just buys the equipment. He never shows up, never watches.
Oh, hey Harris, how you
This
doing, man?
will be the one episode.
Come on in. I'm just joking.
Harris, deliberate is not a negative. It's not. There's not a negative connotation there. Relax. We've been having fun this week. He's been hearing me. We're not going to say why. I've been under a lot of stressors. I got a lot of things to clean up this week, and he's been getting a kick out of hearing my calls and comments about it. So we've had a lot of laughs this week. He's been a tremendous help. He's been working hard this week because I'm currently stuck at one location, and he's having to fulfill the old role that he tried to throw in my lap since I've been back, and now he's back to taking stuff from every shop. So he's getting a little taste.
Oh gosh!
But God bless him. We're having a fun week. It's been a good week.
But
I'm going to go ahead and light the other one. I'm sorry. This can't be a 2-hour show unless you guys vote on it and want it to be. I'm content to sit here and smoke and drink all night with you.
That's right. In the meantime, remember to like, share, and subscribe. You can catch us on all social media outlets and whatnot. Facebook.
How'd you do that?
How did I do that? It's magic. Smoke magic.
Oh, gosh.
I know. Hit that. Smash that like button. Yeah, that's what all the...
Just got intense for a second. I love it, though.
Super.
Bringing the heat.
All right.
I hate putting a cigar down when I'm loving it. I absolutely hate it. But listen to this. That makes me want to now.
Whoa.
God, I'm going to have
not expecting that.
I'm going to smoke.
There's a reason this is called Fuego.
No, this is the Fuego. Do you know what that reason is? Besides the fact that it's fire.
You can smell the intensity.
As the cool kids, the younger generation says, that's fire.
That's fire, man.
I don't
light it up.
I feel like you're always making fun of me somehow.
But that's the reason I don't typically use a straight cut, because I know how quickly I smoke cigars.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. I think it's just because you're nervous.
But that too. But if you have to gauge where to cut, you can kind of see the cap on these things. Try not to cut under the cap. That's my general rule. You can see the line. Don't cut below the line.
Take the footband off as well.
Yeah. Don't light it with the footband on.
Not going to lie. As experienced as I think I am and Mr. Know-It-All with cigars, totally lit a cigar with the foot on it the other day.
I saw a picture of, and Metal might know this better than I do. There's I think it was a rapper or somebody in the media. He lit a cigar. You know how some of them have the cedar on it? He lit it with that still lit on.
That's beautiful.
And we're just like, he's trying to look all cool, and everybody who smokes cigars goes, really? Okay.
It's amazing. Right. Big faux pas. Forgot to fill this up before I came on the show. So now I'm going to have to borrow your lighter. I'm going to trust you don't have COVID all over your hands before I try this. This one, by the way, has a closed foot. The tobacco is covering the foot of the cigar, so the binder and the filler are not exposed. They took the wrapper leaf, and if you've ever smoked a cigar like that, you've got to be very careful because that loose tobacco on the end that's covering it starts to break away, and if it falls on your shirt like it does on mine every time, that's why you have 100 holes in every polo shirt that you wear. Let's try not to do that. Woo! See that right out of the gate.
Yeah.
You
weren't joking about vertical. Holy mackerel.
Yeah, we're going to increase it in strength a little bit with these next two. So the Alma del Fuego, the reason they call it del Fuego is because...
You use fire to light it.
They do use fire to light it. That's one of the many reasons that they were not thinking of. One of the growing regions in Nicaragua is Ometepe, and that is an island, a volcanic island in Nicaragua that great tobacco is used. So in grown is what I meant.
Is there any volcanoes there?
There is a volcano there.
I feel like there's been a movie or something.
There have been several movies. Fun fact, I was born the day Mount St. Helens erupted.
That explains a lot.
Fun fact 1B, that was 1A. 1B is, I have a fear of volcanoes. Is that strange?
A little bit, because there's one coming here. It's going to show up here at the end of the show.
Are you serious?
No.
It's terrifying. I think it's a terrifying way to die. The pyroclastic flow, like speeding down the mountain at like 200 miles per hour, and you're just incinerated. It's horrifying. Falling into a pit of lava.
You're going to get Pompeyed?
God. Oh my God. Whew, that was really funny, actually. That took me by surprise. I'm fascinated by them, but at the same time, you would never see me. Harris Saunders, by the way, has climbed volcanoes.
Really?
I think he and Jim, both his brother, have climbed volcanoes. He climbed Mount Shasta several times, I believe, in California. He was a tour guide, like a mountain climber.
I just had an epiphany.
What?
That's the reason his
I should have pushed him in?
No, that's the reason his hair's curly.
Don't tell him
it used to be straight until he started climbing volcanoes.
Until he started climbing volcanoes. I did not.
He gives him such lift and bounce.
Harris versus the volcano. It should have been Harris versus not Joe.
Yeah.
Great movie, by the way, starring Tom Hanks. Old movie. That was in the 80s, I believe. I think Joe versus the Volcano was in mid to late 80s. Yeah. John, any comments? Do you know? You remember Joe versus the Volcano?
I'm sure Metal will tell us the date of it here real soon.
I was just amazed. I was like 10 when Mount St. Helens erupted.
I love it. John just told his age. And he looks younger than me. Damn him. But no, it's this is grown in the volcanic island Ometepe. Tremendous tobacco comes from there. So this cigar to me is it's not the strongest one they make. We're gonna save that for last. It does have some strength now, right? It's got some kick to it. But this one is so flavorful. It is so rich. It's like that triple chocolate cake that you don't say is strong. You just say it's just incredibly rich.
Wish I could flash up that gif of in that movie Matilda when that kid's eating that chocolate cake. That's yeah.
I just tasted volcano in this. I just got hints of volcano. Now I don't want to. Now I'm scared. I'm gonna start smoking it fast because I'm nervous now. Yellowstone is going to erupt one day. It's a super volcano that's overdue, and it's going to absolutely... I will never go to Yellowstone for this reason.
If it erupts, wouldn't it just wipe out all the U.S.?
No, not necessarily. I've studied this. So the ash cloud would actually affect the southeastern portion of the United States. It would probably put parts of a nuclear winter, but it's not really a big deal. It wouldn't kill us all immediately, right? It would just slowly choke out our food supply, and then over generations, it would decimate a number of the population. No need to fear. It wouldn't be instant death by extreme heat. So,
in the meantime, we could grow tobacco there until we're all gone.
God, I'm so scared of that place.
And you're going to harvest it.
I'm harvesting nothing. I had an opportunity to go to Yellowstone 5 or 6 years ago, and the group that was going, for the life of them, just could not fathom why I wouldn't go. They thought it was the biggest joke, and I was like, it's going to erupt when you're there. It absolutely will. You guys saw, what was it, Day After Tomorrow?
Oh, my gosh.
One of those big, stupid Roland Emmerich films where the world's ending because we put plastic in the ocean, which is bad, by the way. I do not condone that.
That's the reason I don't like disaster movies.
But Woody Harrelson, crazy character, he sits there, and he was wanting to see it all. He wanted to see the end of it and just took it. Took his death like a champ. Not me.
Was he smoking a Fuego cigar?
1990. He did chime in.
I told you.
1990 is when Joe versus the Volcano was released. Outstanding.
I was 5.
Outstanding. Yeah. You're not that much younger than me. I mean, it's like you're in your mid-30s. Like I'm just now hit 40. We're practically the same age.
Practically.
I'm practically 35.
You're practically 35.
Outstanding. I'll take it. What do you think? What are you getting out of the cigar?
I do definitely taste that rich chocolate. Like it's one of those like gourmet, the chocolate that doesn't taste like chocolate. It tastes like, you're like, is this chocolate?
Mm-hmm.
You get one of those like Season 52 restaurants, those super expensive desserts.
I love the desserts though. I love how they do it. They bring them out on the tray and you get to select it. Like it's great.
Yeah.
Like you don't just get pictures on the menu or you have it described. They're gonna put that in your face.
I've only been there once.
You can't say no to that.
No, you can't.
That's why they do it.
Yep.
It's like if I put the cigar under someone's nose, you gotta tell them, COVID, you done breathed on it, you gotta buy it.
Yep.
It's a great concept. Did you see this comment? We're talking about what happened that year. I wasn't born, he said. My God. Are you even old enough to be watching this show? Oh, my God. We don't recommend viewers under 21, by the way. Just want to say that right now while you're watching. Or if you're watching later, we do have a lot of viewers who watch this later. They don't always get to have time to watch this now, and I've gotten several comments. We don't have a ton of guys watching this. We love those of you who are here. We do this for fun. It's going to keep growing. John, as I said, has got some tremendous ideas. He does this for a living. He does a lot of podcasts. Like, John's brilliant, and really, I'm not just pandering, making a joke. John's got great ideas. Devin's wonderful with this. A lot of the technical aspects of the show. These guys have all the ideas. One day, I eventually will be able to settle down and stop putting out fires, so we can hammer this out. We want to make the show better for you.
Putting out fuegos.
Putting out fuegos. Yes. God have mercy. Every few weeks, once or twice, you're funny. You've done it twice today. You've made me genuinely laugh. At least 3 times. You're doing great.
I had a lady on the phone the other day who said, "You're really funny," and I went, "I don't understand why people say that. I don't know. I guess I am, but
It's just your pleasant demeanor, like you're jovial.
jovial. That's it. Look at you. You're just earning points all day today, you
Told you.
thesaurus.
Told you. I'm a dinosaur.
Jason a Thoris.
Thesaurus. Jurassic Park is on Netflix, by the way. I think a bunch of them are on Netflix, but yeah, Jurassic Park's classic. It's a timeless movie. It still holds up today.
I enjoyed 1 and 3.
Which was 3? Who was in 3? Goldblum was still in 3, wasn't he?
Goldblum was in all of them.
Oh, was he really? No,
Yeah.
not in the recent ones with Star-Lord.
No, actually he was. He in one of the scenes.
Did he make a cameo? Was he like a minor character that popped up? Like,
yeah,
hello?
he's like they were doing talking to a council or something like that, and he's the advocate going, "You should not be doing this."
Yeah, because he would know.
Yeah,
he had been there and
like,
done that.
Don't do this. Yeah, I didn't. He was the primary character in the second one, and I did not enjoy that one as much.
I didn't either. I do remember the second one. I did not enjoy the second one.
But the ones with Chris Pratt are really good.
I do like him a lot. I like Chris Pratt a lot.
He is, yeah.
Chris, he seems like a guy that you just want to hang out with.
Yep.
Like an absolute genuine human being, and so perfectly fit in the Marvel universe. Which, by the way, be remiss if we didn't mention it. Chadwick Boseman, as you know, passed away this past week. Terribly sad. What a freaking talent he was.
He was great.
He's the embodiment of he's one of the you see some guys and they play a role and you automatically when you think of that historical figure you think of that actor. That's how you picture them in your mind all of a sudden. To me, he did that with Jackie Robinson, and then of course in the Marvel movies. I watched Black Panther a couple of nights ago. And I had tears in my eyes. I did. Like, I mean, legitimately, like, to see the work that he did in his community and some of the philanthropy that he had and participated in, what a tremendous individual. I believe he was only 42, 43 years old. Way too soon. Tremendous secret to everyone. They kept it very, very private.
Yep.
His struggle with cancer. I do respect that. But, man, it was a tough loss. What a talent, and so there's a huge void to be. We talk about movies a lot during the show, it seems, and that's a big loss.
You know what I try to do is when I've seen that movie, I try to imagine some other actor playing that part, and him playing that part, he brought his bravado to it. Because I could see somebody else playing it being bold and crazy and loud and just beating the crap out of people and being the awesome Black Panther. He brought his level of dignity to it, which was a quiet dignity.
Absolutely. That's a perfect
And
yes.
I think that is what makes him the iconic Black Panther.
Absolutely.
As opposed to somebody else playing it.
He's the leader that you can get behind. That's a leader you can get behind. Who, like you said, the quiet dignity, someone that commands respect that way without just what they're yelling or screaming or saying like that. No, I tremendous role. Did a tremendous job with it. It's going to be, I think, impossible to fill his shoes in that role, but I'm sure they'll try.
You know what that makes me think of is like Hugh Jackman's Wolverine.
Yeah.
Like because Marvel's going to bring that back. They're not going to let that
I don't want to see another Wolverine.
I know. Who's going to play Wolverine?
The final Logan movie I thought was brilliant.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So good. I mean,
it's what a way to end that, to go out. But you're right. Because there are no original concepts, it seems, anymore. So you've got a successful franchise with this one character, so they just keep beating, dead horse. And in Wolverine's case, it is technically it's a dead horse because he did die in the last film. So
that's the great thing about which I think a lot of people who didn't really read comic books, they just kind of watch the movies. Comic books would change completely. They have different variants, different ways they portrayed it. Ultimate Spider-Man, completely different take on Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Which means they can redo these movies in any way they see fit, and
It's true.
still fits with comic book lore.
And still make tons of money.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do.
Boy, we've just absolutely nerded out for a moment, didn't we? We spaced out and went full.
Yes, just don't get me started on Star Wars, or we'll never talk about.
We're
cigars
not
again.
gonna reach that topic.
Deadpool has been my favorite. Yeah, Deadpool's been pretty good. They picked the right guy for him.
My God, did they ever?
Ryan Reynolds, man.
So
Where's my lighter?
I kept it. So I'm going to purge this one last time. And,
Okay.
and for those of you that haven't seen the purge, if you're wondering what I'm talking about, not only am I talking about blowing through the cigar to get some of the impurities out and having a clean draw, I use the flame as well as I do it. And as I'm blowing through it, there's a flame that shoots out. And
So you're not necessarily relighting it; you're just purging.
That's correct. And I generally, just out of habit, I will lay. I'm so sorry. I did not mean to be rude. I will. Yes, I did. I will. I will. The next draw to me, and it's out of literal habit now. Thank you, Dwight Rickard, if you ever watched the show, for teaching me this trick about 12 years ago, when I thought I knew everything and realized I didn't. The next draw is always as clean as the first. And I never have a cigar. Some of you may have had some tar build up on the end of your cigars from time to time and get that really bitter, acrid taste. That doesn't happen with this because I constantly keep that purged out every time I ash. It's just I challenge you to try that next time you ash your cigar. If you're smoking one with us right now, when you're ready to knock the ash off, do that, and then take the flame and blow through the cigar with the flame right there at the foot of the cigar. See if that doesn't make a difference. I'd love to hear your comments on that. I think we've mentioned that before in one of the shows.
This was inspired by you from the Rocky Patel. What's it? The championship cigar.
The World Championship cigar.
Because I used to never do this. And you told me why you should do this, because it kind of filters the air, it cools it down a little bit.
It will cool it down, yes.
Yeah.
And it will burn slower when you do that. And
is
in
something I
that
need.
contest, you definitely wanted it to burn slower because it was all about keeping the cigar lit for the longest amount of time.
Can I tell you, I have smoked like 4 or 5 of those since that
It's a great blend,
It is
isn't
a
it?
great cigar.
I mean, it's not just a gimmick. It's a really nice cigar. They make it in 3 shapes, at least 3 shapes that we have here, 3 sizes.
And you know where you can get them?
Where's that?
At Cigarsandmore
Yes,
and
you
Vitola
can.
Fine Cigars.
And what number should they call to get those?
They should call a phone number that I can never remember, but it's right there.
205-991-3270. And you can try all of these cigars that we're mentioning because we're not going to mention a cigar if we don't carry it at this store, right?
Right. That's correct.
We don't want you to call that number asking for stuff we don't have, clearly. But if you do have suggestions always for stuff that you'd like to see in our stores, please let us know. We have a massive selection. It's impossible to carry everything, but we do have relationships with every vendor practically on the planet. So it's a pretty big deal here.
I think I'm gonna get one for Sir Metal.
You should.
Yeah.
He would appreciate that.
I think
know.
he would.
And I would love to hear his feedback on that.
Him and my buddy Jonathan. I'm gonna get one for him.
I haven't met Jonathan yet.
Yeah.
Does he watch the show?
Every once in a while he'll watch it.
He's not a regular watcher?
No.
Then I don't want to meet him.
He's a fellow streamer like me, so he's always busy. So he's online doing stuff.
You can also get these at BirminghamCigars.com.
You can get them at BirminghamCigars.com.
If you never visit our website, I want to thank Jason Burson Bigfoot, who manages very well our Tuscaloosa location, Vitola Fine Cigars, as you see the logo above. We have 2 stores called Vitola Fine Cigars, one in Mountain Brook Village, because there are 3 villages in the tiny kingdom, and then one in Tuscaloosa. The one in Tuscaloosa is on 6th Street, downtown Tuscaloosa, War Eagle. I can't say Tuscaloosa without saying War Eagle. See how that works. Both fine cigars, as say the name, and then we have 3 locations titled Cigars and More. The original in Trussville, which is where I'll be working for the next couple of weeks.
I'll be there Monday.
I will not. I'll be out of town. I'm actually going to take a couple of days off and get out of town. I have not gotten out of town, like literally gotten out of town, in months, honestly. And it's going to be so good. We have here the Highway 280 location, of course, where we have the mobile studio we set up. And then the location in Hoover, in Patton Creek Shopping Center, behind the Hoover Galleria. Now, we have 5 locations to choose from.
Now, I think it's this Monday is, we have different store hours, is that right? Because of...
We do. We close at 6 p.m.
Okay.
at all of our stores. Currently, we're closing at 8 p.m. at all stores right now because of COVID and blah, 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 whatever the new normal that we keep talking about for months and months on end. So sick of it. My level of being sick of it is at an all-time high. But yes, please go to BirminghamCigars.com. As I was saying, Jason Burson, Bigfoot, manages our Tuscaloosa location.
Yeah.
He really did a great job of adding a lot of pictures to our website. Our website was basically not functional for a long time.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to buy things off of. And now he has added so much of our selection. And what you see on that website is our actual live inventory here. I have watched it update by the Jiffy. By the way,
Jiffy.
I have the word, if you weren't watching earlier, learn what that meant. 1/50th of a second. Super fast. As soon as something is sold, that website is updated. And so you'll find a real-time live inventory. We got a lot of rare things that people have never tried.
Yeah.
That you'll find on that website sometimes. A lot of people from all over the country troll our website.
Troll it.
And wait until they see these things launched and released. You'll find all these cigars on the website. Take a look sometime. Even if you're familiar with our stores, perhaps you'll see something browsing on there that you never noticed in our store before. We got a pretty good inventory on there. Would love for you to take a look.
Yeah.
That number, 205-991-3270, or visit us at BirminghamCigars.com.
So this is a particularly longer episode. We need to get to the last one.
Oh, you're ready to go.
We got to keep going. We're already at an
I
hour.
want to stay all night with you guys, but you're 100% correct.
Yeah. So, what are we smoking here? Mr.
Okay,
Jason?
this is the one I first tried with the Almafuerte. If you're still joining us, I hope you are. If you're going to watch later, this is definitely the strongest of the bunch.
Okay, I'm
Hence
excited.
the word fuerte. That is indicating that this one's a warning. This one's going to be quite strong. It's still a smooth strong, if you ask me.
Yeah.
But you can definitely tell they have upped the ante with the nicotine content in this cigar. So you have to finish all these cigars before you go to bed tonight, by the way.
That is not a problem. I'm going to pile them all together. I'm going to go to a band and I'm going to light all of them.
Is that a threat or a promise?
That's right.
Again, got to take the footband off because I'll forget. Oh, me. If you got any questions about any of these blends, please let us know. You can always comment later on the video as you watch. We'll go back and look at it and try to answer your similar questions the next week. You really got to try these blends, guys. You got to try these cigars. Again, I keep forgetting this is empty. So I'm going to wait patiently as my friend is going to be gracious enough to let me use this lighter. But yeah, you're about to tell a big difference. You're about to tell a difference. This one, I wouldn't say it kick you in the teeth because it's a gentle. It eases you in it draws you in, and then headbutts you. It pulls you in close with a warm embrace, and then pow. It hits you with a ton of strength, but you can still really appreciate the cigar.
Now, I know the term Maduro. Mm-hmm. Does this apply to that, or is this something deeper than Maduro?
This is not. I wouldn't call this a Maduro. They just simply list it as Nicaragua. You know, Maduro is just. Let's talk about this just for a moment while I'm lining this. Maduro. There's sometimes people describe Maduro as it's like this magical leaf that grows like to a super dark color on the plant, right?
Yeah.
And Maduro is a process. It's processing. So when the Maduroing of a tobacco, there are so many cigars inside our humidor that use the exact same wrapper leaf. But what they do is when they put these different leaves of tobacco in hands and put it in a bale, when you bale the tobacco together and stack it, it's a natural decomposition of tobacco that's occurring, right? So yes, that's the fermentation. So during this process, it's decompose, as many of you know, the temperature rises. Okay, during that process, it activates the temperature. And you could stick your hand inside these bales of tobacco, and it's about 120 degrees.
Really?
Yeah, it's crazy because it's cooking. Like it's crazy.
I think Cigarsandmore. I think Harris is going to have to take me overseas, or over to Mexico.
We're gonna if COVID still isn't a freaking thing by late winter, January, February, March. That's usually when the best time to visit is. we'd be glad to have you and several other employees go to these as long as you can get your hours covered, because I don't want to work 200 hours that week. But yeah, Maduroing, it's just a process. So as they're fermenting, the leaves are fermenting, they will allow the temperature to get a little hotter and then do it for a longer period of time, which is drawing out that natural coloration in the leaf. And so it's just the process to make the cigar, the leaf change and the coloration to change. Gives it a richer, almost sweeter characteristic. People think that Maduro is instantly going to be stronger, right? And that's not what that means at all. I mean, 80% of the time, yeah, darker wrapper leaf, it's going to be a stronger cigar, but that's not always the case.
Right.
In this case, boy, it sure is. So, what do you think so far?
Sir Metal, thanks for joining us, man. We'll see you next time, buddy.
Thank you, brother.
The first initial taste, and correct me if I'm wrong, earthy, peaty kind of taste. Like,
interesting, peaty.
Yeah, like it was. I was not expecting that. Now I'm tasting something a little bit more. Oh, what is that flavor? I can't identify, to be honest with you, but man, that's no joke, John.
There's still sweetness in this to me. Still sweetness.
Yeah, because it keeps me drawing. Because
It's hard to put it down, isn't it?
It is.
But toasted wood, like if you had a cedar plank, right, that had been burned or something, had been toasted. That's kind of the aroma and the taste, and also what it reminds me of. You know, this doesn't literally taste like I'm chewing on wood, but it makes me, because you don't do that often, right? But it is what it reminds me of. Can you tell that it's quite a bit stronger?
Yeah. This is going to be a very ass backwards way of saying this, but like if you were to put like a sweetbread in the toaster and over toast it.
Oh wow, no, that's great. That's a great description.
You still kind of you're like, oh, I kind of burned it, but it's still good.
Got a little char on.
Yeah,
on it, but
that's what I'm getting off of this.
That's a great descriptor. I like that. I think people can definitely relate to descriptions like that. It's when you get. But Charlie Minato runs halfwheel.com, and he's bought some stuff after the broadcast before for review on his website. Halfwheel.com, one of the absolute industry leaders in cigar news, and where you can get information on blends where they do tastings. Visit them, please, halfwheel.com. Great article. But Charlie, it's so funny, and I've lightly busted his balls a little bit. He lives in Dallas, and I used to see him a few times here and there. At Renegade Cigars, good friends of mine in Richardson, the North Dallas area. Charlie's got some interesting descriptors of cigars, and some of you are probably smiling right now if you're watching who've read the website, because he'll get hints of Dr. Pepper with cherry Dr. Pepper and hints of mineral spirits, and I'm like, what in the hell are you talking about? Now, I personally, as in what you make fun of me with the pitted prune comments, I've done a little bit of that too, but that is hard for people to sometimes. I dare say 90-95% of people don't get all that craziness in a cigar.
Yeah.
They get sweetness, they get bitterness, they get all these basic things, and then every once in a while it reminds you of something that you tasted or smelled one time, and you get that note out of the cigar. It's like music. You get that tasting note. It's singing to you. It's talking to you. That note strikes the right chord, and then you remember.
So, I drink my coffee black, and this seems like something that would go good with a black coffee.
Well, black coffee, absolutely.
Yeah.
100%.
Maybe a Kona coffee or
that would be
Jamaica Me Crazy or something.
That would. I like Kona coffee a lot. We do appreciate him joining us tonight.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, this has been a long episode. But we've enjoyed tasting through. We've tasted through 4 cigars, okay?
Yeah.
In just over an hour. Don't want to keep it running too long. Remember, though, to click like and subscribe. Wow, I didn't even anticipate. I didn't even know you were doing that. And we were in sync there. Not the band. We could be a boy band though if we wanted to be the 3 of us here. Let's try that. Oh, did you just flash it?
I don't know what you're talking about.
So what I just said apparently was BS. Flat, leave it up there. Everybody loves it. You know how many times I get comments about the turd emoji? At least twice in 15 weeks. No. It's everybody's favorite graphic to put up there. That's BS. What's not BS is the fact that we appreciate you joining us.
Yes, very much so.
These cigars, Placencia cigars, are not BS. They're the real deal Holyfield, as they like to say. And
Poet, you didn't even know it.
Absolutely. Would love to have you come in and try them.
You really
if
should.
You don't live in Birmingham and you're watching this, please go to BirminghamCigars.com. We will ship orders within the continental United States over $50 or more for free. We'll ship it to you for free via priority mail, and we'll get you a tracking number, and you can anticipate trying this at home if you're not with us here in Birmingham.
Yeah.
Devin,
But
John,
that and put off the walking into a cigar shop till next week.
we will. So we'll talk about that. Let's talk about next week. We'll talk about some anxieties. I'm so sorry we got carried away. We will discuss for new smokers, because we love how some of you guys are newer to this and you're tuning in. We're going to discuss anxieties that you have coming into stores for the first time and why you should not have them.
Yeah.
And I'm going to make fun of a large group of cigar smokers who think they know it all next week.
Okay.
I'll reduce your anxiety. You come see me, brand new to this. I had a great experience the other day in Trustful.
Yeah.
The guy said he was new to cigars. I thought he meant he had been into it about a year. I was selling the guy his first cigar.
Nice. I do that a lot.
He had just made a big sale at work and also was closing on his first house. What a pleasure it was to talk to him. And boy, I think we hit it out of the park with the cigar that he got. That is joy to me. I love taking new cigar smokers who are getting into the hobby. You're the guys that I get the most joy talking to. It's not the guys who have the ego and they want to prove that they know more than me, or they feel threatened by someone else's cigar knowledge. I want to talk to you guys who really want to get into this passion for the first time, and I'd love to share with you not my knowledge or what I think that I know that's so great. Is what I've learned from other people better than myself and who know more than me. I want to share that with you because I've been blessed to learn many number of things through a lot of great cigar makers. I'd love to share that with you.
Bless this mess.
Absolutely. And on that note, speaking of blessings, to smoke is what?
It's human, but, to smoke a cigar, it's divine.
Praise the Lord. Thank you for joining us again for another episode of Cigars and More Behind the Curtain. Hope to see you next week where we talk about cigar anxiety.
Cigar anxiety.
Yeah.
All right. Good night, y'all.
Thanks, guys.